everybody. Welcome back to Let's Talk Kentucky. We are so excited about this interview. Our guest at the table is Rocco Besednjak with Camp Hero. Welcome. We are so glad to have you here. So you have this amazing program called Camp Hero, which provides retreats, hunting trips, camping trips, and outdoor experiences for wounded veterans and first responders. But before we talk about Camp Hero, tell us your story.
Okay. I was in the Navy, ended up becoming medically retired, and after that I became a police officer in Shepherdsville, just south of Louisville. July 3rd, 2016, I was conducting a traffic stop, and I was trying to arrest a wanted felon, and she ended up dragging me with her vehicle and running over my legs. That essentially caused numerous spinal injuries, and I was forced to medically retire. When I found out I had to medically retire, that's when I started dealing with all the mental health issues. I started dealing with depression, post-traumatic stress, and at one point I was even suicidal. I was trying to look up ways to where I could commit suicide and it would look like an accident. But I didn't want to, I knew there was more for me than that, so I was looking up resources for mental health for first responders, and there was absolutely nothing. There was nothing out there whatsoever. Luckily, I was able to fall back on my military mental health because I didn't want to see a normal civilian, because that's just how usually vets and first responders are. They didn't want to talk to normal people or normal people. And so I got my mental health squared away, and then I started getting back in the outdoors and realizing how beneficial it was being out in nature for my own mental health, and started bringing other vets and first responders out in mental health. So being, I saw the lack of the mental health resources for vets and first responders, then I wanted to help start providing that myself.
Yeah.
And so that's Camp Hero.
Exactly.
So can you share an overview of that?
Sure. In 2019, my wife and I, we bought 160 acres with a cabin there in Jackson County, Kentucky. Immediately, we started hosting other vets and first responders out there to get away, decompress, also be able to fellowship with each other, because nobody gets each other like, people like themselves, like vets and first responders. So when we started doing that, it just started blowing up. We're an all volunteer nonprofit. We have no paid people. So everyone who's part of this nonprofit does it because they want to make a difference and want to do something. And so that's, Camp Hero became my purpose.
Yeah, I think we have some photographs here. Did we show? I was so into it. I could. So we did show the photographs. Okay, excellent.
Rocco, Camp Hero. Where do you see it in a year? Where do you see it in 5 years?
We just started a program called the Nature Immersion Mental Health Maintenance Program for vets and first responders. So this is a regular program where vets and first responders can come out there, learn things about the outdoors, bushcraft, stuff like that. But we also have mental health professionals that are there at the time, so they can provide resources and stuff like that to them also. So that has developed a lot of great interest, and I see in about a year we're going to have, we should be able to serve anywhere from 700 to 900 people a year doing
That's
that.
amazing.
And within 5 years, I would love to be able to expand to other states and help develop programs in those other states, because what we do now, there's no other problem like our program like it. It was, and this is an outside the box type treatment where vets first responders are type A people. You tell them, hey, you need to go talk to someone, they're gonna be like, no.
Right.
But,
nope, not doing it.
But if you say, hey, how about you go out here and hang out in the outdoors with a bunch of other vets and first responders, you're kind of tricking them into getting help. So they're going out there, they're hanging out, being out in nature has been scientifically proven to beneficially help your mental health. So getting them out there with them, and then also having the mental health professionals there to give them resources for when they do leave, should they reach that critical point, they'll have those resources there where kind of like, because when I needed those resources, they weren't there. So we're giving them these tools and just another tool in their tool belt for them to get that.
So awesome. You have an amazing fundraiser coming up too. Let's talk about that quickly if you can.
Yep. August 10th, we will be having the American Heroes Bourbon and Barbecue Bash.
Yeah.
This will be, I think it's our 4th one, and there'll be about 500 people there, but we have live auction, silent auction, raffles, all you can eat barbecue, beer, bourbon, of course, a lot of rare bourbons, and just some great auction items. And it's an amazing time where you actually get to meet a lot of the people who were part of Camp Hero and staff, and you get to hear a lot of people's stories there also.
Oh, I love it.
So I hope that folks really help you guys out with this fundraiser. And then also for folks who are watching, or maybe you know someone who may need to get involved, may need to take a trip out to Camp Hero, please encourage them to do so. Really quickly, we've got just a couple of seconds. Tell them your website so folks can find you.
Sure. You can go to campheroky.org, and there you can go on there. There's a volunteer button. There's a button where you can sign up for the Nature Immersion program, and there's also information on the fundraiser on there also.
Nice.
So, and even if you want to see what we've done prior, there's a little link on there. You click in the news, and you click on it, and it'll show the past years of stuff that we've done.
Very cool. Well, Rocco, thank you so much for, first of all your service to us nationally and locally. And thanks for doing this for so many folks who truly need it. It's great to have you on the show.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for letting me tell my story.
Absolutely. Thank you. All right, everybody, stay with us. It's Women's History Month. That means it's time for another Women's History Moment.